In today's video, I want to go over updated sales figures for the PlayStation 4, and recently it has topped an estimated 100 million units sold to consumers. That is an insane number, and a lot to talk about in the history of the PS4 and what the expectations were leading into this generation. But 6 years later, towards the end of the console generation, the PlayStation 4 continues to do very, very well. Speaking of which, Gran Turismo Sport, a PS4 exclusive that hasn't gotten a ton of attention, but an updated version of that game, Spec 2, is out today on the PS4. We'll talk a little bit about that. Stranding has gotten a brand new trailer in the drop trailer, and Battlefield 5 has gotten a pretty substantial update. We'll talk that at the end of this video. Talking a little bit about the PlayStation 4 sales to kick things off, Sony Interactive Entertainment at the end of July 2019 announced it had shipped 100 million PlayStation 4 consoles in its lifetime as of June 30th, 2019. 2.5 months later, Sony's 8th generation home console, the PS4, has now sold over 100 million units to consumers according to VG Charts estimates. The PlayStation 4 reached the milestone for the week ending September 14, 2019. The console sold around 221,000 units to bring its lifetime sales to 100,062,220. Breaking down the sales by region, the console has sold an estimated 40,932,000 units in Europe, 30,104,000 units in the US, and then 8,380,000 units in Japan. All of that brings it just north over 100 million units, and that is an incredibly high number. And going back to the start of this generation, many were touting that this was going to be the last generation of consoles, that people were going to move on over to mobile gaming. $60 games weren't sustainable, people were not going to play these single player games, and I can go on and on about the crazy things that were said earlier this generation. Those expectations really got stifled right out of the gate when the PlayStation 4 sold incredibly well just at launch, but it's continued to persist after all of the exclusives have sold really well. The games are getting better and better, and now you see the PS4 reaching an astronomically high amount of sales numbers. Now, is the PS4 going to be the most successful console of all time? Probably not. Breaking the PlayStation 2 sales records is just going to be really difficult, and that's because the PlayStation 2 was just around for so long. You're talking about a 2000 release, and it lasted until like 2009, 2010, and people continued to buy it. The PlayStation 4 is not going to be around for this long. In 6 years, however, selling 100 million units, that is incredibly respectable, and honestly a little bit under 6 years, as we haven't even gone through the holiday 2019 period, and a considerable amount of the sales from this year are going to come during that time period, but you get the idea. It's done incredibly well. When is it going to taper off? Probably with the release of the PlayStation 5. They might reduce the price of the PS4 a little bit more right before the PS5 release or after the PS5 release, whatever the case may be. But if we can end the PlayStation 4's life at around 120 to 130 million units sold, that is an incredibly high number. And again, no one was really expecting this. No one was expecting gaming consoles to still be as popular as they are. Again, when we're talking early 2013, late 2012, people were saying it's moving on. Gaming consoles are not going to be the big thing. Games are going to move towards a mobile platform, free to play, whatever the case may be. And free to play has been a big market on the PS4. However, there's still $60 games. There's still these big budget games. And hell, I would say that more money is being poured into the creation of these big budget games than ever before. That's why we see the development span of these Naughty Dog games and Sony Santa Monica Studio games just getting longer and longer, because the expectations are so much higher and they're trying to deliver the best product possible. And at the end of the day, it is paying dividends considering the PlayStation 4 is selling incredibly well. It has cracked 100 million units sold. Let's see how it shapes up for the rest of the year. Moving on from that, Gran Turismo Sport is seeing a little bit of a re-release with Gran Turismo Sport Spec 2, which is out today on the PlayStation 4. Kazunori Yamauchi, president of Polyphony Digital and creator of Gran Turismo, put out a post on the PlayStation blog, and here's what he said. Almost 2 years after the launch of GT Sport, an updated Spec 2 version will be available at select retailers and at the PlayStation Store starting from today. The new version will contain the base game plus all the free content updates up until May. This means you will find over 280 cars included and over 25 tracks. When you install the game, if you have an online connection, any updates after May will still need to be downloaded separately. This will provide access to even more cars and tracks as we continue to add more free content every month. Spec 2 also comes with additional bonuses to get new players started, including 2.5 million in-game credits and the top 10 performing GR3 cars from the 2018 FIA certified Gran Turismo Championships. The cars are listed out on the PlayStation blog, so if you want to check that out, link in the description box below. You can find Spec 2 available right now on the PlayStation Store, and it is going for $29.99, so you can check that out. And there's quite a bit to get into in that game, and of course, if you do have the PlayStation VR headset, GT Sport does utilize that, and GT Sport, all things considered, is one of the better games utilizing PlayStation VR. I know that Gran Turismo Sport didn't have the popularity and the cachet as a lot of the other Gran Turismo games. It was really kind of a little bit of an off-brand GT game. Who knows if we're gonna get a Gran Turismo 7? Gran Turismo 6 was released on the PlayStation 3, and that was a strange release considering it came out on the PS3 after the release of the PlayStation 4, and it didn't do all too well from a sales standpoint. It was actually a big drop-off from GT5. And I would say that as much as Sony has over Microsoft, one area that Microsoft does have over Sony is the fact that Forza Motorsport is a way better franchise than Gran Turismo. Some people want to argue it, but from consistency, from quality of games, Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport just about smokes Gran Turismo. If you don't want to accept it, I don't know what to tell you, but that is reality right now. Gran Turismo needs a little bit of a jolt. I'm not saying Spec 2 is that jolt, but if we do get a GT7 on PlayStation 5, hopefully it does see a reignition of the franchise. Alright, moving on from that, ahead of Death Stranding's release on November 8th, it has gotten a little trailer, the drop trailer, which is definitely more of a promotional trailer rather than offering you a lot of insight into the game. Check it out for yourself. It's about a minute long, and as we're getting closer and closer to the release of Death Stranding, I do find myself getting more interested. I don't know if that is just my personal belief or that's the general thought among gamers. I know that there's still this air of uncertainty surrounding the game. However, it is Hideo Kojima. It is a big budget PS4 exclusive. Just knowing those two things, I feel like the majority of people will be sold on the game just on the basis of that. And even though we don't know much, just because it's a Hideo Kojima game, I could very well see that this is a game that ends up being released and gets like 10 out of 10s across the board. That's just something that Hideo Kojima only could pull off. We'll see how the game turns out. I'm still not like expecting a top tier masterclass from Hideo Kojima, but I think that's what Kojima wants. I don't think Kojima wants the expectation to be that, yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 incoming, and who knows, of course, review scores and judgment of the game is going to vary person to person, but right now I am pretty high on the game and I do think it's going to turn out to be quite good. We'll see exactly how it turns out come November 8th, but have a look at the promotional trailer, the drop, for yourself. And lastly, I do want to note that Battlefield 5 has gotten a sizable new update as it's dropped its chaotic new Operation Underground map a little bit earlier, and I do want to talk the details on that. Operation Underground takes place in a war-ridden German city environment where you'll battle for control both above and below ground. The map can be played in the Conquest, Squad Conquest, Breakthrough, and Team Deathmatch game modes. For limited time periods, Rush will be supported too. Regardless of how you tackle it, you'll deploy on a highly dynamic map. Prepare to get tactical and read the rhythm of the battle, working with your squad as you push forward, hold your ground, or fall back. Operation Underground supports a wide variety of playstyles involving up-close infantry battles. Supporters of light combat weapons, teamwork, spatial awareness, and ever-changing battle conditions will feel right at home, as will fans of the original Operation Metro from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, or Martia in Battlefield 5. They also go over some key areas and conquest capture modes. After everything, even though Battlefield 5 was absolutely butchered from a promotional standpoint, and EA has a magnificent job of doing that recently. They did it with Star Wars Battlefront 2. You can make an argument they did it with Titanfall 2, but that was really just from a release standpoint, but still, that goes hand in hand with promotion. Battlefield 5 is actually a pretty good game. After all of the updates and everything they've done with the game, there's a lot of quality content to get into with Battlefield 5. It's just unfortunate that EA had to butcher the marketing and promotion of this game so hard that not enough people are playing the game even after all of those updates. You've got free DLC, and that has seemingly pushed Activision into creating a free DLC plan for their own shooter in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. All of the good out of Battlefield 5 is really good. It's just unfortunate that from a marketing standpoint, it was a complete train wreck, and now you're seeing the ramifications of that. The game isn't as popular as you would have expected a Battlefield game to be, but the quality is still absolutely there, and hopefully at some point people do start checking it out. It is a part of EA Access, so if you want to play through it that way, that is always an option. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, PlayStation 4 has topped an estimated 100 million units sold to consumers. That is insane because that is sold to consumers. That's not just shipped to retailers. These consoles have actually been sold to consumers. GT Sport Spec 2 is out today on the PS4 and on the PlayStation Store. $30 for that. Death Stranding has gotten a brand new trailer with the drop trailer. And for those of you interested in Battlefield 5, or those of you playing it right now, maybe you're interested in signing up for EA Access, Battlefield 5 has dropped a brand new update, adding the new Operation Underground map today. I know not everybody is super into the idea of giving giving an EA multiplayer game a shot, but BF5 is quite good and I would give it a recommendation. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.